These popular baby products are just a complete waste of money. Seriously, save your money, buy something else. You won't believe how much money I wasted on these baby products that were deemed must-haves and certainly were not. And yes, this might upset some people, but even if it saves one person from wasting their money, then I will be happy. And obviously this goes without saying, but we all have different experiences. If this isn't your experience with the product, I mean no harm. This is just my personal experience as a first-time mom. My son is now 15 months old. I'm pretty confident with this list. Starting off strong, a lot of people loved this carrier, but I found it to really hurt my back, and that is the Baby Bjorn mini carrier. It is $160. To be honest though, I absolutely loved this baby carrier for the first couple months, but it's not built for big babies or for a lot of weight. So once my baby hit about 3 months and started to pack on more weight, my lower back hurt so badly. And it's just because this carrier does not have the right support around you to hold up a baby that's heavier or taller. My son was a tall baby. He didn't weigh a lot. He was only about 7 pounds, but his length alone made it really uncomfortable to carry him. So I ended up selling that carrier and getting a different one by the time he was 3 months. I also don't understand why you would have a baby carrier that doesn't really grow with the baby. It just seemed pointless. Thankfully, I got that secondhand, so I didn't waste too much money on that. I would definitely save your money for a carrier that grows with your child. The next one is one that was recommended to me by a family member, and I bought it, like I kind of panic bought it because I figured I would need it. And that was the Owlette sock. So if you don't know, this is a sock that monitors your baby's breathing to make sure that they don't stop breathing in the night. And I never actually took this out of the box. The idea of using this stressed me out, and a lot of people get false alarms on them, and I think that would just send me into a spiral. I will say though, I was really, really lucky and I didn't struggle with postpartum depression or severe postpartum anxiety. I can imagine if you're very, very anxious about your baby's breathing, that you need something like this, and I completely respect that. For me though, it just wasn't worth it. It cost over $500. I didn't feel the need to use it. My son also didn't have any sort of complications or breathing problems, which I know can add to people's anxiety about that. I know SIDS is very serious. If this is something you need for your reassurance, then that is completely okay. I definitely thought I would be more anxious about him sleeping, and maybe it just wore off once I saw he was okay after a while, or the sleep deprivation just got to me and I could not mentally focus on that. It's anyone's guess. And I would never, ever, ever judge somebody who feels comfort from that. I think if you do get that comfort from it, it is completely worth it. This one is so popular and I cannot for the life of me figure out why. I bought it, I absolutely hated it. And that is the Fawn diaper bag. I'm in Canada and that diaper bag costed me over $250 for the bag, for shipping, and then for the customs fees. It was so expensive, and I was convinced it was gonna be this phenomenal bag since everybody talks so highly about it. It's horrible. You cannot fit much in it. Unlike a lot of diaper bags, you can't stuff it. It's like a fake leather material and it just does not pack very well. I kept having issues with the zipper. It was not worth the money. There are so many better, less expensive bags out there that I definitely recommend. I was not expecting to pay that much in customs. I even got the bag on sale. I think it was like 20% off, and it still costed me over $250 Canadian. Just so not worth it for a diaper bag. I don't care how great it is. If it costs that much, it's not worth it. This one I feel like is less common, but still worth noting, and that was fuzzy sleep sacks. I absolutely love sleep sacks. I think they're great, but the idea of a fuzzy one doesn't really make sense unless you live in like a really cold place or you don't have functional heating, or maybe you're camping. But just for inside, I don't know why I thought I would use this like fuzzy UGG sleeping bag. I did get it on sale, so I didn't just like go out and buy it because it's UGG. It was like 80% off, so I bought it and I still have not used it. I think I ended up giving it away because I'm not gonna put him in a fuzzy sleep sack. We have heat in the house, it's never that cold. I don't take him camping yet, so just wasn't worth the money. Okay, this is another one that is going to upset some people, and that is the UPPAbaby Vista V2. This stroller costed about $2,000 new, and it's great. Like, I love this stroller, but I would not spend that on a stroller again. My son hated being in the stroller. He still hates being in the stroller. I either have to carry him or now he just walks everywhere. He just is not really a stroller kid and never really was. So this was just a lot of money to spend. I will say though, I did not buy this myself. I'm very fortunate and my mom bought it for me. So I'm very grateful for that. Thankfully, the resale value is really good. So if you do splurge on that, you will get some of your money back later when you decide to sell it when your kid outgrows it. Another thing about the UPPAbaby that is good is if you have multiple kids, there are options, or if you have twins, that sort of thing, it's a great stroller. I just think that you can get a lot of secondhand strollers for a lot less and they work the same. And if your kid doesn't like strollers, then you just kind of paid that much for a fancy shopping cart, let's be honest. This one kind of goes hand in hand with it because I bought this car seat for the stroller, and that is the Mesa UPPAbaby car seat. This is, if there's one thing you take away from this video, it is do not buy that car seat, because my son outgrew that car seat by the time he was 6 months old. The height limit on it is not very high, so if you have a tall baby or a big baby, you are going to outgrow that, and then you're just gonna have to buy another car seat. And these car seats are not cheap. They are well over $500, and there's legalities with selling car seats, so generally you can't resell a car seat. It wasn't worth it. You can also get adapters for strollers for different car seats. So if I had gotten a different car seat, I could have just gotten an adapter for it for the stroller, but I thought this car seat was going to be great, so I bought it. And then I was really disappointed. I will say though, my one piece of advice, if you are trying to decide what car seat to get for the size of your child, and depending on what vehicle you have, join a Facebook car seat group. So in Canada, I think there's 2, and I'm in both of them, and you just put in your baby's size and what vehicle you have, and they will suggest what car seat is going to be best suited for your needs. So there are actually car seats that don't work in every vehicle. I almost bought a car seat that I couldn't even legally have in my Jeep because in the manual it says you need to have a headrest that can detach, and in my model of Jeep it cannot. So that would have just been a complete waste. It wouldn't have been safe. So I'm really glad that I posted in that group to get a recommendation on the next car seat I bought. I ended up going with a Graco. I was caught up in the idea that you had to spend a lot of money on the fanciest car seat for it to be the best, and that is just not the case. They all follow the same safety standards, so just make sure it fits with your make and model of your vehicle and also your baby's size. If you don't know your baby's size yet, I would still just post in one of the groups with the make and model of your vehicle, and they will recommend a car seat that's going to be best suited for your needs. And when I say they, I don't just mean random people on Facebook. This is certified car seat technicians that comment and suggest. So definitely worth doing. I also recommend posting a picture of your baby in the car seat to make sure the fit is proper, because it's really hard to kind of get the hang of it in the beginning for how the car seat should be, and that's definitely something that you don't want to screw up on. So post a picture, get some feedback, and just be safe. Okay, we have a few left, so I'm gonna try and get through them a bit quicker so this video isn't too long. Next, we have the UPPAbaby Snot Sucker. I know people love the UPPAbaby line, and I do too, and the Frida Mom line, they're great. However, the Snot Sucker always kind of grossed me out. I ended up getting an electric one, and it works so much better, and it is quite gentle, and it has different sizes, so it can fit in a really tiny nostril. If you have a really small newborn baby though, it doesn't hurt to have a Snot Sucker that's manual to use because I think they are safer for newborns. But once my son was a bit older, I got the electric one. It works way better, much less tears from him, and it's just more comfortable to use. We're actually using it this week because he is sick and his nose just keeps leaking. So I really like being able to use the electric sucker to get it out, and then you don't have to put it in your mouth. That kind of grosses me out. I know it's my baby and I will do anything for him, so if I have to do that, I will do that, but I prefer not to. Next, we have any wired breast pump. Seriously, when you are pumping, you do not want cables. You do not want a giant thing you have to carry around. You want something that just sits in your bra and works without having to be hooked up to something. This is way more comfortable. It's great for when you need to pump, but you also need to parent, so you can hold your baby while it's working on one breast, or you can get two and do it at the same time. I was solo parenting a lot because my husband works away for work, so he would be gone for weeks at a time. And I needed something that was lightweight and portable that I could do wherever I was, and that was much easier. So I definitely recommend not getting a wired breast pump. There are tons of hands-free portable ones you can get that are generally in the same price range, and I find the suction to be just as good, but that's my opinion. I also didn't have a massive supply, so if you have a really large supply, it might be different. I'm not sure. Next, we have another beige mom aesthetic favorite, and that is the Baby Bjorn bouncer. So I did have this. I had it in a light gray color and I loved it. It was so pretty. It went so well in the nursery, but my baby hated it. He much preferred the $30 Fisher Price one that was colorful and had all the toys. And you're gonna do whatever your baby wants to do. So if your baby wants to be in the colorful, obnoxious plaything, you're gonna put them in that thing. It's what you're gonna do. I ended up just selling the Baby Bjorn bouncer off Marketplace and made some of my money back, thankfully. And it's so overpriced. I don't know why a bouncer is that expensive. It really has no reason to be. It's nothing fancy. You can get so many cheaper bouncers that your baby is probably going to prefer. Last, we have the peanut change pad, or any change pad, to be honest. If you are using a change pad to change your child horizontally, it is just so uncomfortable and not practical. I don't know why so many people do it this way, but you really need a change pad where you're gonna be changing them vertically. Like, yes, theoretically, you can use any change pad if you have the table set up so it's vertical, but I still don't recommend spending the price on the peanut one. It doesn't make sense to spend over $200 on a change pad. Like, we're changing poopy diapers. You don't need that. So save your money. You can get a cheap pad if you're gonna be doing it that way. But to be honest, I had all the fancy stuff, and what we preferred to use was a pack and play with a change pad top. It's great because you can keep all of the diapers and the wipes inside the pack and play, so they're kind of like out of the way, and then you can change your baby on top. It is the best thing. So if you do have your diaper station set up in a horizontal way, so you're changing the baby at their side, like they're laying in front of you and you're changing them, I would change it so that it's horizontal, so you are at the baby's feet changing them. It's just much more practical. At the end of the day, not every baby product is worth the hype or the money. If I had one piece of advice, it would be not to worry about the aesthetic or having the most bougie products, because in my experience at least, it doesn't always mean it's the better product. You can also get a lot of dupes for much cheaper, and as long as the safety standards are the same, I would not worry about it. Your baby does not care what brand you have. If you have the money to splurge on that stuff and you want to, that's awesome. But I think you should just save your money and put that in a education fund for your kid. Let me know in the comments what baby products you regret buying.